God form Vegeta going up against Granolah in Chapter 75, which just dropped right now. Let's dive right into it. Hey everyone, hope you've had a great month. It feels like Chapter 74 just dropped like last week, and here we are a month later, and now we've got Granolah going up against Vegeta. But not just any form Vegeta, because we saw last month that Vegeta unlocked his God of Destruction powers. So how is he going to fare in this fight? Is he going to win? Is he going to lose? Well, we did see early on a lot of leaks came out, and we saw lots of other YouTubers just basically upset, worried that Vegeta was going to lose this fight because the pages that leaked made it look like Vegeta was going to lose. So before we go into any of that, let's start from the beginning of the chapter. Vegeta wastes no time just unlocking all of his power and just showing why he is the God of Destruction. We got to really see Vegeta just hone in on that thirst that he has for fighting. He's not even dodging Granolah's attacks, he's just taking them on directly, and I'm not sure for the reason behind that other than Vegeta's just being, again, incredibly cocky in just how powerful he is, or it could just be because of just how much he's enjoying this fight. He's just loving the challenge of taking the hits directly. We're going to be really seeing a common theme throughout the chapter, and that's Vegeta constantly saying how these battles just bring out the best in him. It gets him to become stronger, it unlocks potential that he didn't even know was there, and really gets him to fully become the thing that he's trying to become, which is the strongest in the universe. Now, because it's a common theme that's going throughout the chapter, we can kind of assume that Granolah is going to end up utilizing the exact same thing, and sure enough, as we progress through the chapter, we're going to be seeing just that. We are getting 10 pages of just pure fighting. Now, this is not something I would like to normally complain about, but the entire manga is only 40 pages and it comes out once a month. That's already a quarter of the manga is just pure fighting panels that's not really progressing the story at all. This is stuff that, again, will be better suited in the anime, and I can't wait to see it animated, but in the manga, I don't think this many pages should be utilized on just pure fighting, but instead use the dialogue to imply how long these battles have been going on for to, again, progress the story further. Now, in saying that, there is one panel that really stood out to me that Toyotaro did, and that's the panel when Vegeta grabs hold of Granolah's head and essentially does a backflip, launching Granolah into houses in the city. This again is one of those moments that I really like about Toyotaro, where he really kind of gets creative with these fighting sequences. Throughout these 10 pages, Vegeta is just kicking the shit out of Granolah. It's not even close. He's just completely dominating this fight. But as I mentioned earlier, there's a common theme, and that's the utilization of these fights to get stronger. So sure enough, the tables start to turn a little bit here. Granolah's getting kind of fed up that he's not being able to land a single punch on Vegeta, and that he's just being completely manhandled. And now, in typical Dragon Ball fashion, we have the stereotypical dialogue where Granolah is completely fed up that Vegeta seems to be stronger than him right now, and just not being able to accept the fact that this is the case. I'm sure we've heard that many times before in Dragon Ball. So as Granolah's not being able to accept this fact that Vegeta is just purely stronger than him now, Granolah is on the brinks of complete defense, utilizing shields just in the nick of time before Vegeta is able to go in for the finish. And this is where things start to kind of change. Granolah's learning that Vegeta got his power from the God of Destruction. Granolah didn't even know who a God of Destruction was, but he does go on to say that Goku's ability is called Ultra Instinct, and Vegeta's is completely different from his, and it uses Ego. And then he goes on to call it Ultra Ego. It's that's an interesting name for sure. Not only do you have an ego, but it's an ultra ego, which, I mean, it does suit Vegeta. He is incredibly egotistical. So there you have it. We do now have an official name for his God of Destruction ability, and it's simply going to be called Ultra Ego. Then we get more series of panels of just pure fighting. We get another good 5-6 pages here. But again, there's one panel that in particular really stood out to me again, and that's Vegeta going feet first and penetrating Granolah's shield. And we're just seeing a close-up panel of Vegeta's boots just going directly into Granolah's face. And I just love how well drawn this is. It's really well detailed. I think Toyotaro did a fantastic job here. Vegeta does spend a little bit of time here telling Granolah that, in fact, he is also a victim of Frieza, and his entire race was also wiped out due to Frieza. So they are both technically the same, but Vegeta's not looking for any sympathy, and he's not even looking to back down on this fight. He's just simply letting Granolah know. This is where Granolah's headset Oatmeal is having contradictions and not being able to accept Granolah's real fate here, that he's wanting to just simply destroy Saiyans that had nothing to really do with what happened to him. Granolah's getting completely fed up with Oatmeal, and he just takes off his headset and throws it aside, and this is where we get to see his eye, and we definitely get confirmation that his eye is in fact red. So that common theme that we had through this chapter comes to a head here. This is when Granolah is just completely fed up and decides he's going to utilize the same thing that Vegeta was doing, using the fight to gain the experience and simply become stronger than he was before. And so we can see that Granolah is just unleashing all that he's got right now and bringing it to Vegeta. He's getting some hits in. Vegeta's just loving every moment of it. Vegeta even mentions he can feel that he's getting even stronger throughout this. Granolah unleashes another attack, and this time, instead of just taking it head on like Vegeta has done all chapter, he dodges it now. And Granolah takes that as a sign of weakness, that Vegeta is in fact getting weaker and Granolah is getting stronger. Or Vegeta's just losing power and Granolah hasn't lost as much as him, so they're kind of evening out at this point. So you can start to tell that Vegeta's cockiness is starting to turn to frustration, because even with Vegeta unleashing all of his power, he's still not taking down Granolah, despite him kind of having the advantage throughout this entire fight. So Granolah was completely right. Vegeta was getting weaker, and Vegeta also makes a comment that he in fact was taking too much damage, which in hindsight just tells me how stupid he was to be taking direct damage this entire fight, just again showing just how cocky he is. Probably goes hand in hand with his ego, because he's just constantly just doing irrational things to just show how strong he is, which just becomes a detriment to him in the end.
Farewell, you're finished!
So after Vegeta's last blast, it didn't do anything to Granolah, and Granolah is in one of his sniping positions, ready to unleash another attack on Vegeta. So Vegeta takes that as a sign of, let's go for it, let's play a game of chicken, and Vegeta gets ready to unleash one of his massive blasts where they go head to head with one another. Vegeta again is being super cocky and unleashing this blast towards the planet, forcing Granolah to have to take it head on in order to save the planet, or let everyone go with it. But this is probably the most exciting part of the chapter, and this might be the moment where people had the biggest issue with it, because Granolah did exactly the same thing that Vegeta did earlier on, and he unlocks his second eye, and both his eyes go red, which just unleashes a massive amount of power, and he's able to snipe Vegeta's massive blast into nothing. For me personally, this was the coolest part of the chapter, because Granolah unlocking both eyes feels like a Naruto moment where he's unlocking the Sharingan, and it's just one of those cool moments. So I really liked how they utilized the eye thing that still gave Granolah room to grow. But I guess this is where people had a lot of problems with it, because now we have Vegeta on the ground looking like he's about to lose the fight, when he was just completely dominating it the entire time, and Granolah didn't lose the fight just yet. This again is one of those moments where this is entirely Vegeta's own fault. Again, using his cockiness, thinking he won the fight just by transforming and dragging it on for longer than it had to be. And then once that happened, Granolah took the chance, learned from it, grew from it, just as Vegeta did. And now Granolah is in the upper hand again, and even stronger than he was before. But again, this is just Dragon Ball 101. You fight, you get a power up, he fights, he gets a power up, then Vegeta's going to fight again, he'll eventually get another power up, and then Goku's going to come into the fray as we all expected. But I guess Vegeta's not going to get the win. We don't know yet, maybe he will. I don't think Goku is in a position yet that he can really help, so we're going to see where this goes. But I am still on the fence that I don't think one of them is really going to lose this fight. It's going to become more of a stalemate, and they're both going to realize that the real enemy isn't each other. But I do like the last thing that Granolah says, which is the last page of the chapter, where he's thanking him for helping him unlock his second eye, making him even more powerful. And to me, that's just typical Dragon Ball writing. He's done it against Cell, he did it against Frieza, he's done it against almost every single villain at this point, but I can understand a lot of Vegeta fans' frustration. Again, Vegeta's in a position where he was going to win a fight, and then just doesn't. I did say it in the last chapter that I thought for sure Vegeta was gonna win it this time. Everything felt like this was it. This is gonna be Vegeta's big moment. He's going up against one of the big villains. But at the same time, I don't think Granolah truly is the big villain. And we do have something bigger in sight here that I think they're going to team up in the end. But for now, I don't think this is over. I don't think Vegeta lost this fight at all. There's still more in the tank for Vegeta here, but it's gonna be interesting where it goes. But I don't think we're gonna get some happy climax that one of them wins. It's just gonna be some kind of deflection where some other problem appears and Vegeta and Granolah are gonna have to team up together to handle it. So I wanna know what you think. Are you happy, upset? Where do you think this is gonna go? Do you think Vegeta actually ended up losing this fight? Or do you think there's more to happen in the next chapter? Do you think there's gonna be a team up maybe happening with some greater villain coming along? I wanna know, so comment below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Hitting the like button is a huge help. And click the notification bell to be notified when I drop my next video. That's it for this one. See you in the next video.